one of the things that happens on Man-at-Arms is you see these weapons at the very end, but you don't really get us. We don't really talk about how they feel in the hand, how they maneuver. You see us, you know, we set it up at the anvil. We do these beautiful shots with all the smoke and fire, and it gives you a real good feel for what the final creation is. But then even when we do the demo and you see us chopping things and, you know, getting into all of that, we don't talk about how the piece feels in your hand. So one of the things I want to talk about with Lostvayne is, you know, this is a small piece, but it is heavy. And part of that is because we've got something here where we're over a ½ inch thick right here in the center. But if we didn't make the piece that thick and make it that heavy, then we wouldn't have this really greatly pronounced hollow grind. You know, when Matt ground this and polished this out, it just doesn't give this form if you don't have a lot of thickness to start with. So this thing is, you know, well over, like I said, well over a ½ inch back up in here. So that's a big part of it. That's what gives it the look and gives it the form, gives it kind of substance instead of just being a thin, kind of more flimsy type piece. This is pretty substantial. Like I said, it is really, it's about 6 pounds, so it is a pretty heavy thing for a smaller blade like that. I mean, that's heavier than, you know, a lot of medieval swords, even into some really big hand and a halves or even two-handers wouldn't be any heavier than this. Another contributing factor is the bronze. So when we cast this bronze, you saw a sand cast this originally, went through and ground and polished it. Yeah, it could have been created as a hollow piece. You know, Chinese swords that have big guards like this, they're actually hollow, so they don't have anywhere near as much weight as you might think. That doesn't really lend itself to the process that we try and show you in Man-at-Arms. We're trying to show you hot work. That's one of the big things. I mean, we certainly have done some hollow soldering. We did that when we made the knife with Danny Trejo, you know, with the silver fittings and Ilya engraved the whole thing. You know, I created that as a completely hollow form, whereas this is cast solid. The other thing that the cast solid thing really lends itself to is the engraving work like this. So that allows Ilya to just clamp that. He just clamped it in there, went to town with the chisels, really cutting hard. He didn't have to worry about how deep he was going because he wasn't going to cut through like a piece of sheet metal and, you know, something like that. Solid piece. Of course, the counterbalance is solid. You know, that's actually to kind of counterbalance the weapon. It could be a little bit bigger on a piece like this, but it's really the visual that we were going for. You know, Meliodas, when he's wielding this weapon, you see it'll change sizes, it makes multiple, you know, it does all kinds of different things. All the weapons really do in Seven Deadly Sins. They kind of have, you know, other powers. But this is kind of the form, that's what you really see in the whole piece. And when we created this, we wanted it to be kind of the iconic thing you think of when you think of his weapon. I'm not sure how something like this ever ended up in a pawn shop, but it's a heck of a thing, and it's definitely one of the weapons I think we enjoy more. It is probably the single most item that we're requested to make for people, which of course we can't do because we don't own the rights to make this. But it's definitely one of the weapons. This and some of the Assassin's Creed pieces are the things that we're asked to make the most. So you never know. You know, if we end up talking to the people who do own the IP, it is the kind of thing we would make, but won't see that happening. Sorry guys, it's something we'd love to do. But anyway, just glad to be able to show you some of the Man-at-Arms weapons and give you a feel for, you know, sizes and how they kind of maneuver without it just being like crazy fast shots with smoke and fire, or same kind of thing where we're chopping random stuff with it, to kind of give you a feel what it will or won't perform. Did take a little bit of damage during that demo. You can see just a little bit here on the edge. You know, I could dress that back and kind of make all of that go away. But it's kind of the history of the weapon now, you know, from whatever it was that we struck so hard that hit that. Could have been a support or a nail or something in the table too that we do the chopping on, which tends to do a little more damage obviously than fruit or milk or anything like that. But I think that at least on this weapon, we're going to leave that damage in place because it's kind of like a, you know, I don't know, something special for it, so that if you see this, if you saw a replica somewhere, you'd know whether or not it was the actual Man-at-Arms weapon from the kind of battle damage that we did there in the end demos. So anyway, thank you very much. We'll be showing you more of these type of things as we go, and keep watching. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click the logo to subscribe, or click the video to see more things we make here at Baltimore Knife and Sword.